The intercooler I want to use is pretty thick, so the factory cross brace that comes across right here was in the way. It had to go. So I created or added these side pieces here and the bottom here to help reinforce the front clip. And now I've got a nice big area to do my intercooler, radiator fans, whatever I need. And so that's going to turn out pretty well. Get ready to put the bumper back on temporarily so that I can see how the intercooler is going to fit. I want to push it up as far as I can. So this past week I just got some more pipe in, and I'm going to be using that to make the intercooler pipes, the intake pipes. This is a 2-inch mandrel bent tubing, so it's smooth, the same radius all the way throughout, and so it doesn't disrupt the flow, and it's easy to cut sections out of to make bends. And I just cut it up and make it to however I need it, and it's an easy way to get nice pipe, and it's not very expensive. So these are 2-inch bends, that's for all the intake piping, and this 3-inch bend is for the exhaust. So I've been thinking about this for a while, and I finally decided to do it. I'm going to modify this intake manifold, and I've got this piece of pipe here, 2-inch aluminum pipe. I'm going to cut the top off the manifold here and weld this on top of the lower part of that manifold. So this will sit under, come out right about here, and then I can just get a 45-degree, if it goes as planned, I'll just get a 45-degree silicone boot, and my intake pipe for the intercooler will come in about like this, and we'll just tie it to it. It is cast aluminum, so I'm not sure how it'll weld. I know a lot of other guys have done this, so I know it's possible, and you don't know till you try, so we're just going to try it and see what happens. I think if I clean it well enough and preheat it and take my time, it should do okay. Here's what I cut off for the intake manifold. That's the part I'm not using, and so here's what's left. And I've just spent a while cleaning this top edge so that it will hopefully weld a little bit better. Yeah, it cleaned up pretty decent. I think it'll do alright. So now the next step is to cut my pipe there to fit, so it'll have the right shape to match my hole on the manifold. Just finished welding the pipe to the manifold, and it welded very easy for cast. I was really surprised at how well it went. So it turned out really nice, didn't have any trouble. Left the welder on auto cleaning, and it did the job, and it didn't have any trouble. Only trouble I had actually was just not blowing the breaker, because all I have is a dryer circuit, which is 30 amps, and it's just not enough. But I could go about 3 inches of bead at a time before it would blow. And I just squared the end off with the hammer so that putting an end plate on it will be easier. So that surprised me. I thought it would be a much dirtier weld than it is, but I'll take it. That will work. Now I'm going to go see if I have a piece of scrap aluminum and make that end cap. If not, I'll have to finish tomorrow. In the back of my tube, I welded a square of flat stock, and that gives me enough thickness to tap it for a port, so I can run my boost gauge off of this. So recently I got the intercooler pipes mostly together. They turned out really nice. I'm happy with those. I just took a bunch of U-bends from Summit and cut them to fit. And Here it is. It's going to a Subaru WRX intercooler. Got another bend to work on this top piece here. That's going to have a better bend into there, but I ran out of pipe the other night, so getting ready to start back on that. This is what I'll use, 2-inch pipe with a 3-inch radius, mandrel bent, and that's tight enough bend to work with in the small areas, and seems to work pretty well. So I'm going to get to work here in a minute. Just been trying to find a way to get the map sensor into the intake tract, and I'm going to put it in the intercooler outlet pipe between the intercooler and the intake. And so I found this hose nipple in a spare parts box in my toolbox. I don't even know what it's from, but it's just the right diameter for the sensor. Just put a little different O-ring on it, and it snaps right in. So what I'm going to do is just cut this off to the right depth, and then weld what's left of this onto the pipe, the intake pipe. So that should be an easy solution. Then I'll just add some bolts or a way to secure it to the pipe, and we'll be done. I was going to weld a nut and use some studs and do all that to hold the sensor, but it fits so tight in the little standoff pipe, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere with the safety wire on it. The wire is pretty tight. I'm going to watch that and see how it does, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to go anywhere. And here's the intake and the intercooler system all finished. It turned out pretty well. I like it. Room is pretty tight, so later if I want to add an air conditioning condenser, it's going to be tough. I'll have to figure that out. But I'm just going to get it on the road for now, and then we'll worry about that later. There's just under 3 inches of room right here, probably 2 3/4. I did find a radiator fan that's going to go in here. Have not installed that yet. I don't even know how necessary it will be, but I'm going to put it in and make sure the engine runs cool. Probably won't be a big deal unless I'm going slow for a long period of time under some load. And also got the mass air meter mounted and a K&N filter. So we're all ready to go with that.